and light. I hope everybody is having a great day today. Um, let's talk about this eclipse. Hey, buddy. Whenever I start doing a video, Charlie wants attention. Say hi, Charlie. All right, I'm gonna try my best to stay focused. So I just want to talk a little bit about some of these post-eclipse energies that many of us will be experiencing in the coming, obviously the eclipse happened last night. We also have Mercury retrograde and Mars retrograde. And also, I think there's something else going on. I gotta think about it. But so it's a lot of energy. There's a lot of cosmic energy happening. A lot of things happening right now that are shifting people's energies and the collective energies of the world. So this eclipse, a lot of people know. You might have seen some videos, might have heard some people talking about it. You might have experienced some interesting go get it. You might have experienced some interesting energy. You might have experienced some loss or some change as well. And so I just want to talk a little bit about some of the Charlie, Charlie. He's like totally quiet the whole time, just chilling. And as soon as I start the video, this is what happens sometimes. You gotta roll with it, all right? BRB. I just get him to settle down a little bit. Where was I? Yes, this blood moon lunar eclipse that happened yesterday. And obviously we are still feeling the energies of this eclipse right now. And eclipses can often hit you, or rather the waves of energy and resulting circumstances, often you can feel them up to a month before or after on the day, in the coming weeks, definitely in coming days afterwards. But also it's the beginning and ending, opening and closing of a cycle of cosmic gateways, which is an aspect about eclipses that I don't think a lot of people are too familiar with. So in terms of a year cycle, you'll be either beginning, opening, or rather ending, closing some karmic cycles and things that you've been dealing with. I myself, this time around, lucky me, this is the closing of a cycle. So I know a lot of people might remember last August, the Lionsgate portal opened. There was a big eclipse that everybody kind of made a big deal about. So this is in conjunction with that from last year ending. So think back to last year, between August to October, any major life events or changes or situations that may have come up for you or started to happen that may have caused a shift. That's probably some difficulty, right? That's probably around the area, karmic area that you're dealing with. So think on that and think what it might be. Hold on just a second. So just a little grounding. I just want to give a little, quick, and I said this briefly, but like eclipses, no quick info, right? Eclipses can be harbingers of change. They often bring change and death. And death doesn't always have to be literal. Sometimes it is. death can mean the end of, I don't know, like, for instance, I'll just mention a couple things that I heard and experienced in the coming days before the eclipse. A family friend told me about two people that they knew that passed away. I was on a train. Someone got hit by the train. Someone was sitting next to me. They're talking about they just got fired for no reason from their job. Different sorts of things like this, relationships ending and all this stuff. And a lot of people get afraid about concepts of death. But death is part of a cycle, and when death happens, there is new birth and new life. So it's not something that one should really be afraid of, especially if it's dealing with like karmic issues and trauma and all that sort of thing. It's good. It's good to deal with. Eclipses are also a time for shadow work. And shadow work, if you're not familiar with what it is the time where the lower or negative aspects of yourself, the aspects of yourself, not always necessarily negative, but the aspects of yourself that you hide away from society and your peers, this is when it starts to rise and come up, and it comes up so that you can deal with it, so that you can accept it, you can learn to transmute it, make it benefit you, you can love it, and you can integrate it into your being, so you can be wholly and authentically yourself. Because honestly, a lot of the time, the things that we don't like the most about others are inherently things that we either do not like about ourselves or feel that we may be lacking within ourselves. So this is a great time to deal with these issues, right? So let's do it. So one thing that's important to know is as above, so below, as within, so without, right? Mind is all. So even though times can be tough, even though it can be challenging, I'd like to invite everyone to remind themselves, realign themselves to focus on gratitude and be thankful and hold gratitude in your heart. Right now with this eclipse, blood moon eclipse in Leo and the Lion's Gate portal opening, this is all about heart energy, all right? This is all about our heart energy right here. Heart chakras opening up and manifesting that which is in our minds into the world. Quick little tangent side note. I want to talk about, I just want to say this because this is kind of how I feel, law of attraction, right? Which is really law of correspondence, or the mystic law in Nietzsche and Buddhism, Nam-myo Renge-kyo, which I chant every day. I subscribe to the mystic law of cause and effect, right? What you focus on is what you create. What you think about is what will appear, is what you manifest. And instead of calling it the law of attraction, because I think that's a misnomer, and I think it's a little deceptive, to be honest, because a lot of times people are trying to practice it and they don't understand why things they don't want to happen, why it keeps happening to them. And it's not something that they are necessarily attracted to, but it's something that they are calling in energetically. And so I think it would be better named the law of magnetism or the law of manifestation, rather, because that's a little bit more realistic. Like if you're always thinking about like, I need, like, let's say, just an example, someone who wants to earn more money, right? And they're always thinking, I need more money, I have to make more money, right? I gotta make more, what do I have to do? Like, even though you're thinking about making money, you're thinking about it in a lack perspective, as if you don't have the money, so you need, and therefore the money will always be out of your reach. That is the energy you're pulling in. So it would make more sense for one to say, I am abundant. Simple as that. That's the state of where you are, you call that into you. It's really, really that simple. So as we're going through all this integration and shadow work, and you're dealing with your demons, your dark side, right, your shadow side, and you're seeing reflected outwardly in the world and your environment around you, things you may overhear or come across in the street, something you might see on television or online, And when it starts to stir up these feelings of incongruency and things that are not resonating, anxieties pop up, fears, sadness, anger, realign yourself with how you think about it, right? That's the first step. And how you approach it. Realign yourself from a lack of victim trauma mindset where it is others are doing wrong, as opposed to this is the energy that I am going to bring to the situation, right? This is what you want to do. This is the energy that I'm going to bring to the situation to create this sort of space. So if there's a space that is, there are two people that are arguing, right, let's say, instead of being like, oh, that's wrong, they shouldn't be arguing, blah, 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 going and like telling this person what's wrong about the way that they're interacting with the other, or this or that, or, go and make a joke. Go and do a silly dance. Be the sacred clown. Do something to bring some levity into the situation. You have power to change every situation. It's how you're choosing to deal with it, all right? I'm trying to be careful with my words because I'm a Libra, I'm an Indigo, so I can be harsh, but like we live in a world of complainers, and a world of people that are stuck and have been molded by their traumas, and people wear this as armor, as badges, and why everybody has their right to their experience and to express themselves as they see fit. Most people do so without really being cognizant of what it is that they may be saying and how that may affect others. Like even myself, like that's why I had to take a step and think, like, how am I going to say this? Because sometimes things can just come out, and that can affect people very negatively, especially at times like this when there's all sorts of weird cosmological energies going on. So focus on gratitude. So here's some important things, I guess, that I want to talk about in terms of this eclipse. And now this is the part of the video that's probably, it might not be for everyone, but I can only talk from my experience and my inner and overstanding, right? And I'm coming from a very particular place with all of this stuff. So the Earth itself is going through an ascension process. The whole galaxy, everything is. People are, plants are, molecules, everything is going to a higher vibration right now. And at the same time, yes, there's a lot of low vibration, low, I don't want to even really use the word negative, but that's the word that people tend to understand, but it's actually not usually used in the right way. But, the nega version of things, like that stuff is coming up as well. We were seeing a lot of, things, and if you do pay attention to the news, is they're going to constantly like berate you with all sorts of negative with all sorts of negative information, right? And the purpose of that, honestly, is to keep you anchored into that lower third dimensional energy, which is not where you want to be, because that's not where everything else is going. So a lot of people have been experiencing shifts, rapid shifts in consciousness and spirituality and understanding. A lot of people have been experiencing a lot of people, I'm sorry, my friend sent me something just now, said that they were crying, but I just realized they were being joking, like they were laughing so much. I'm like, oh, something wrong. A lot of people have been experiencing different aspects of ascension for the last couple of years. Some people, this started for them years and years ago in their journey. Me, myself, it's been the last 2 years or so, and definitely a lot the last year. I've been like rapidly ascending. Some people haven't started, some people won't. And here's something that's important, because a lot of people won't tell y'all. it's not happening for everybody, and it's not going to happen for everybody. Some people have no idea about any of this stuff. It's not even in their radar at all. They'd never see this video. If you came to this video, it's probably was meant for you to see. If I am in your life and you talk to me, that's probably for a reason. Literally, all I talk about is spirituality and like cosmic ascension, and like for the most part. So like you wouldn't be hanging out with me on a regular basis if you didn't understand or want to learn more or know more already. People that don't vibe with me just because of my energy, they don't stay around me. It's very, very high energy, and it's a lot to deal with. So if you're watching this video, you're probably meant to watch this video. So trust that and know that it's good, right? So what's happening is that the Earth is being anchored into fourth and fifth dimensional and density consciousness, right? So we are going from the third to the fourth, anchoring into the fifth, right? The fourth dimension overlaps the third dimension, and it's not necessarily it's a place of oh, I'll get into that in a second. Let me not jump ahead. So we're being anchored, right? So there's rapid shifts of consciousness, and you're going to be integrating your fourth and fifth dimensional consciousnesses. And so what this means, like the galactic human, rather your like etheric light body, your astral body, is fully integrating back into your physical vessel. In terms of what you would be conscious of it, not just in terms of like when you go to sleep and this or that. Like you, at all times, you'll be experiencing the multidimensional aspects of yourself, and you will be cognizant of it and conscious of it even in waking times. This is how I live my existence, and it's actually exciting for me because now that more people are going to be experiencing this, I feel like I will be able to communicate with people a little bit more clearly, and it's been tough a little bit for myself through this process, realizing things that I've realized and trying to communicate things that sound like simple, plain English when it's coming out of my mouth, but I guess it must not be to others as they experience it. And so I'm excited about this. I think it's really, really a good thing. And it's important. And a lot of things are going to happen for people who are experiencing ascension. And this is the whole apocalypse. This is the whole veil of Maya being lifted. This is all the energies coming from that whole 2012 end of the world stuff. It wasn't about the world like blowing up or ceasing to exist, but rather that reality that we were in, that consciousness, that program that the majority of the world was operating under is ceasing to exist. It is dissipating. And if you stay connected to those energies, you too will no longer, how do I say this, resonate with everyone else. You will transcend into another state. So it's important that we align and realign ourselves. Okay? That was a tough one because I don't like telling people stuff like that, but it just, it is what it is. So a lot of people are going to be experiencing synchronicities, manifestations, rapid manifestations, which is a very big aspect of the fourth dimensional consciousness, telepathic communication, different sorts of metaphysical or psychic spiritual gifts, remote viewing, merging of timelines and pulling in things from different timelines, parallel timelines that exist. And it's really dope because like, I don't know, it's really cool to me because like, it's fun. It can be scary at first. For me, it was confusing. I remember in the beginning, or not really the beginning, but like, obviously this is a journey that I actually have been on my entire life. And I think I'll record another video when I'm kind of going through some details of different events throughout my life. But I wasn't really aware of it until the last 2 years. And definitely last year, after around this time last year, a little bit before, definitely around this time last year, and especially January. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen this January coming, and January, February. It was very hard for me this past year. You see, like, even the way like you think about time is like it's different. That's part of this whole shift in consciousness is with the earth, like linear time is does not exist anyway. It never did. But the concept of how people accept time linearly is going to fade out, and people will realize that time is circular. And I think people do already understand that time is circular and things go in cycles, but I don't think to the extent of like how much that affects events that we are going through. People understand it's like you're literally going through the same energies that you went through. It may be different faces in front of you, it may be different environment in front of you, but it's the same exact situation. And the reason that happens is so that you can learn a lesson or do something. And people often don't, and they go through the same things over and over and over again, and they don't wonder why their life is not working out. But now that people will come to this understanding of what time is and how important it is to pay attention to these different cosmological movements and the influences of the energies that are coming and hitting in waves into the earth and coming from the earth and into other people around you and being emitted from you. Like once people start to understand all of that, they'll be able to handle and manage situations in their life so much better. So much better. So it's important. Time is circular. It's not linear. Just know that. If nothing else I say in this video makes sense, please understand that. Where was I before? January, February. Oh yeah, it was difficult. Time. I don't know. It'll come back to me. But anyway, a lot of people are going to be going through a lot of major energetic upgrades. And so that's good. A big part of what is going to be happening and what happens in Ascension. Here we go. This is what happened. I just remembered what I was going to say, but then remembered what I was saying, and it's the same thing. So a big part of what happens is that you have purges. So you purge energies, you purge behaviors, you purge mindsets, you purge programs that no longer work or resonate with where you are, where you're going in your life. And for me, one of the things that happened because I was ascending, I guess, consciously so rapidly was that I could not really resonate with a lot of the people that were closest to me. I became a different person. And I think it was shocking for some people. It was scary for others. It was upsetting for some. I began to kind of, I don't want to say cut people out of my life. Some people just naturally moved away. Other people I instead of just allowing, which is important, I'm going to get to that in a second, but this is something that I learned and something anyway, instead of allowing, I got into this mode of like, I don't want to say proselytizing, but in almost, or what people would consider to be that, because like I knew the answer, I always kind of do, but that's not how it works. It doesn't really matter if you just know the answer, you know the right solution to something. People have to experience and understand things for themselves in order to make the right decision. Sometimes people have to make the wrong decision a certain amount of times as well in order to come to a certain state of understanding, overstanding about something that they can then make the right situation, just because their mind is, their experience is just what it is. And so they really have trouble seeing things from any other sort of angle. And so as this purging is happening, there's going to be, hopefully it can be integrated, which is what we want to do. We want to integrate the shadow side into the light side, right? The yin and the yang, right? We want to be whole again. We want to integrate our masculine and feminine principles. We want to integrate our spirituality with our physicality, right? We want to integrate all of these different aspects of what we are so that we can live our best lives, our best selves. But it often, their resistance is what comes up often when people start purging and start going through this ascension, is resistance, because life changes, situation changes, your thought process changes. For me, I was hit with so much information so fast, both from what I would come across in my like waking life, and then also like psychically, divinely, getting guidance that was peeling away the layers of the false reality that is the world that we all live in. And I was in a place that I just, for a while, I did not trust anyone or anything, and it was a bad energy for me to harness, because that was something about my energy is very dynamic, and it can change a room, it can change a person's life, and it's not good if I'm not centered. It's not good for me to be around other people. Which, some of my friends don't know. That's why I disappear sometimes. So a lot of upgrades, a lot of divine communication, divine energy is happening, a lot of purging. A lot of things are going to become exposed, like a lot of corruption within the government and corporations. You're going to start finding out about things about people in your life that were close to you that you didn't know, that have shaped and formed your relationships and informed your relationships. And you may be able to deal with it, you may not. And this is a time of change. And this eclipse, one of the main things that it's dealing with is cutting ties, and it's dealing with family and tribe and ancestry and old karmic, your old soul and like past life. Like a lot of these things are being cut away right now, at least for people that are in the have been going on this journey a little bit already. Some people who not, if this is new to you, this may start for you. Some of you might be ending these cycles. And so this is important. I mean, I could cite some more things, but like my personal stuff in my life, it's a lot. So, and I've let it go, so I don't even really want to talk about it, to be honest. And so another thing that I want to state, like dealing with the whole ascension for fifth dimensional consciousness, the aspect of the earth is like manifestation is going to happen, like rapid synchronicities, rapid manifestations instantaneously. This is something that I've been able to do and been experiencing for a while, but when it first happened, it was actually kind of frightening, but then it was really cool. You think of something and then like you literally see it in your environment appear. You think of someone and then they walk up to you, and like people experience this sort of thing pretty often. I don't think it's that rare, but to the extent in which I'm talking about is like you are going to be very, very aware of it, and you're going to be able to control it almost all the time. And so that's important to know, because if you're thinking about things that you don't want to happen, or about things that you do not like, what does not resonate with you, right? You're watching about a bunch of videos of cops murdering people, unarmed people. You're watching a bunch of videos about I don't even really want to talk about it because I don't want to put that energy into this video, but you know where I'm going with that. If you understand, if you're watching videos that are talking about the negative lower aspects of life, and that is resonating on your mind and you're thinking about it, that is what is going to manifest in your environment. So I'm telling you, gratitude, 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 all right? Gratitude, win-win. Committed to a win-win world, all right? So in metaphysics, that's known as 0 point. The moment, when you're bringing in from the etheric into the reality. And so a lot of this is it's good. It's exciting for me. And I hope it's exciting for all of you. And to like kind of guide y'all, I guess, a little bit, some things that you can do to help you, right? And if these energies are tough for you, here's some things that you can do. Meditate, right? Meditate every day, all day, every day. Be in a meditative state, theta brainwave state. I chant Lotus Sutra every morning and night. Exercise, get those endorphins going, right? You know what I'm saying? Get that blood pumping. Do your yoga, your divine breath, right? Your spirit, that's what you are. Yoga is all about the spirit. It's not about stretching, it's about the breath. You're using your muscles and your bones and you're stretching it to stimulate your blood and flowing through your organs to promote energy and harness through your breath, all right? In your environment, you breathe in the air. What you take in is what's inside of you. Just like what you eat is what's in your body. Just like what you drink, right? This glass is full. Y'all just can't see the water. That all adds to you. So like, remind yourself of these things as you're going through the day. Like when you're getting angry, short breaths, overheating, you're not allowing yourself to right? That air, that energy went all the way to my base, right? Flowed through, stimulating everything, coming back, instant calming. Your talismans, right? You keep your talismans on you. If you are your gun, right? If you are a person that is into that sort of stuff, keep your talismans on you for protection, for guidance, for energy, for light. Crystals are important. I'm going to get into the crystals in 1 second. One thing that can help, I'm really grateful. The CEO of the founder of the company that I work for, one of my bosses, she gifted me, so kind of her, with these aromatherapy kits. So this one is like I'm gonna use this one right now. This is an inhaler. You got the essential oils. You got the roll-on therapy oils. This one is pretty cool. This is a pen. So this is good while you're working. You can be writing or drawing, as I do. Maybe you're at work and you might get a little stressed out. The bamboo, the wood has good properties, but also the lavender oil is very good. And you can just take a whiff of this. And if the office is stressful, you know, like you chill out, you're good. I also use frankincense and myrrh, Egyptian musk. I anoint myself with that. It's part of my daily practice. Just because I like the way it smells. I just liked it. I was drawn to it, but then I kind of learned about some of the properties, and it's a good one. This is lavender. It's calming. One of the funny things is, like, on other people, like, your body changes a little bit during, especially if you're really in tune, like I am, during these different shifts in eclipse and energies. Like right now, like my face is all fat, like, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. Like, but it's like certain areas, and it's like, it's not my glands or anything. It's just like, I notice this, like when the moon, the full moons are there, like my face will get fatter, a little thicker, and then it shrinks back down afterwards. Oh, it smells really good. I really like this. Get some lavender oil, y'all. Get some lavender oil. It's good for you. Talk about some crystals. So here's another thing that I forgot, that I kind of left out, that just came back to me when I picked up the amethyst, funny enough, right? Part of what is also happening is, like, literally the veil, like reality is going to be different. People are going to start seeing and experiencing things physically different. And like, you're going to start seeing things that you didn't see before. And noticing things, if this is happening to you. The visible light frequency is people saying like it's being removed or whatever, but rather, I don't think that's the right language to use. It's rather your ability to see into what is visible is increasing. So the light frequency is expanding. So there's always energy, there are always beings and things around us that we cannot normally, or most people cannot normally see. And this is what mediums, psychics, this is how we see. We can see spirits, you know, we can hear spirits. We can see divine entities and energy and energetic grids. We can see all sorts of things. And so this is going to become far more commonplace. It's not going to be like a special thing. I mean, I guess it's special. I don't know if it ever really was a special thing, but if this is happening, if you are integrating this into your being, into your cosmic being, this is important. And this is happening for everyone who's a vanguard, the Golden Army, the 144, whatever people like to call themselves. This is really, people on ninth dimensional frequency. Like, this is people that are experiencing this ahead of time, and have been experiencing this ahead of time, because you are the vanguard. You are here to help the collective consciousness, because there's going to be a lot of mass trauma and mass purging happening as this great shift happens, as we are moving further into the age of Aquarius, and the spiritual realm, the mystic realm, begins to present itself again, right? Like it did way back in the day, and all those old fairy tales and things people like to read and think is fake. Like, as people are going to start experiencing that again. And if you've been experiencing it, you've been experiencing it for a reason, because you have a job to do. So that's important. But anyway, Amethyst. This is my, I like to call it heartstone. Funny enough, this piece of amethyst is like shaped like a heart. And so a beautiful thing about this piece also that I really love, and you can see it in almost all pieces of amethyst, is both the clear and the purple. So if we're going to be talking about the visible light frequency, we know that indigo, purple, is right, ultraviolet is right at the end, and then beyond that it goes clear. This is actually kind of like gray. If it was clear, you just wouldn't see it. And I love this piece of amethyst, man. I love a woman, kindred. I love this piece, man. I love the fact that it looks like a heart. I'm gonna wrap this one in some copper. I'm gonna start wearing it on my heart. Another good one is rose quartz, heartstone. Amethyst is good for psychic insight. It's good for balance as well. It has so many properties, and it's good. It's good energy. Always, it's very calming. I love amethyst. Rose quartz, important. Since we're dealing with the heart, both of these deal with the heart, but amethyst is really definitely up here. Rose is here, dealing with the heart. We want to rock these together. I usually rock these together. Anyway, any type of quartz. I could get a piece of clear quartz I got over there, but whatever. I don't feel like getting up. I'm rocking with this Lemurian sunbeam quartz. This is extremely rare. I'm not even gonna show that to y'all for too long. That's a very special one, and very near and dear to my heart. Another thing that is good to do is get you a wand, get you a selenite wand, clear that energy, right? Cut some cords, do your thing. Onyx is good as well. Obsidian, and it's good to wear crystals, because crystals balance your electromagnetic, your auric field. I say electromagnetic, and this is about both the masculine and feminine principles being emitting and receiving, right? Electromagnetic. So our heart is a superconductor. It's a generator, right? And it's a reservoir. And it's important to know that every one that we pass, every person we pass, every place we go, there is energy that clings on to us. And that's why you can go down a certain block at nighttime, it's totally fine. And you walk down another block, you get a weird feeling, right? Or, some people, you just gravitate towards them, you love them, you meet them first time, you want to hug them, you don't even know them, but you want to hug them. Sometimes someone you don't know them, they walk by on their chain, they touch you, you get this feeling. It's that sort of thing. And these energies, in addition to all of the things that we have going on in our heads and the experiences that we go through and the external things that people in our friends groups and family groups and work groups put on us, all these other even little tiny energies can begin to go in like a reservoir, like a well, and weigh you down. And you're already purging your own stuff. You don't want to be dealing with other people's stuff. So do what you got to do to balance you. Here's another good one. This is my newest addition. In addition to this selenite wand, and this is not a stone that I was too familiar with. I thought it was lapis lazuli, but it's not. This is sodalite, and this is also another good stone for angelic communication, psychic insight. But funny enough, I kept picking it up, and the main thing that popped out to me when I read up about it was that it promotes inner peace. And since I've been wearing it, I've been feeling very peaceful. I really have. Even in like situations or talking about things with people where other people were getting heated, and I normally it's very hard to get me actually angry, but if I do get angry, I get very, very angry, right? But even if not in anger, like I'm a person that can speak with passion. I'm a person that can put a lot of energy into the way that I express things. And I have noticed that I've just been a lot more just like, all right, yeah, cool, like smiling and stuff. And so if you see some sodalite, get you some sodalite. Just like rock with blue and purple. You know, these are vibrations and frequencies, and you want to rock with these colors in the more indigo purple range. Going forward, it'll keep you in a good place. So I had one last thing that I wanted to say. Yes, I'll just sum it up with a summary because I know this video is kind of all over the place. Real quick summary. If you have been experiencing ascension symptoms and purges and cycles and going through these fluxes, been going through flux over the last couple of years because there's been a lot of things cosmologically happening with the movements of the planetary and heavenly bodies that are affecting us as well as life, right? If you've been dealing with this, you are likely, very likely, a master teacher, ascended master come back. You are a deity. You are an archangel of light. You may be an indigo, star seed, rainbow, crystal, shadow, light worker, shadow worker. You may be an energy healer. You are here to help with the ascension of humanity. You are here to better the world. You are here for Kozen Rufu, right? So, be about it. Don't fight it. I tried to fight it. You can't fight it. It's going to come. Otherwise, every time these eclipses and these different solar flares and all this stuff comes, the energy's going to keep hitting you. It doesn't matter. It's just who you are. So if you've been experiencing it, you're probably already gravitating towards it. So it's probably not something that you're fighting it at this point. There are people that are going to be starting to be initiated into this cosmically initiated into this that haven't been. You're going to see your life shift, like what I wanted to do with my life before, and I still want to hold aspects of that are still important to me, but it's shifted. Like I don't want to be like a famous like actor anymore, you know? Like I would love to use films as one of the modalities to get these different messages across and tell these sorts of stories, but I don't even know if I need to be in them anymore, you know what I'm saying? And it's like actually more important to me that I record a video like this than like go on an audition. And it's more important to me that like I'm there for someone in the street that I see needs help, you know, or meet someone in their dream when they need some help, something like that. It's weird, but things shift, people change, right? You grow. And a lot of it, I think, had to do with the fact that, like, even though I may, be an ascended master come back, I think in the past life I wasn't always, I know I've always been a priest in different lives, but I think I led a life of being a warrior, and in my last lifetime, and I came back wanting to be that, and I realized that, like, that's not me. It's funny, my mother used to always tell me, like, you're just like, you always like want to be like a tough guy type of thing, but like you're not.
and I never got it. Now I get it, and like it just makes sense. It's interesting. So that's one thing to know. Another thing to know is, if regardless or not of whether you experience all this like metaphysical, psychic, spiritual stuff, like eclipses can still be very tough. Change can be hard to deal with. Some people accept change and they love change and they're thriving. Some people, this is going to be a very positive change, like a lot of abundance and good things are going to start flowing into their lives. As me, because I went through the dark times, so I'm excited. But other people, it's going to be the reverse. It's not going to be so good, and it's going to be tough to deal with. So remember to ground yourself. Go out, put your feet into the ground. If you work with crystals, put your crystals into the ground. If they can, go into the ocean, go to the beach and take them to the fresh salt water or a fresh running lake, right? Which reminded me, if you were in the rain yesterday, get ready for it. You're going to feel it, like, coming this next week or so. Do these things to recharge and refresh, and remind yourself, if you like to pray, pray. I'm not really one to pray, but I do like to meditate and chant. So if that's what you do, and talk to my guides, is the way that I do it. And like, if that's what you do, do it. Do whatever works for you. If you like to sing, sing. If you like to dance, dance. You like to draw, draw. You like to work out, work out. You like to just read, read. If you like to just sit there, not do nothing, do whatever you like to do. But like, remember, we're integrating shadow side energy into light side energy, right? And so here's something that I want to, because I started saying it, I didn't say it. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. It's coming really fast. I wanted to express this about shadow sides. Like, one of my shadow aspects is like my music, and that's not a bad thing. It's not like a negative thing. It's actually something that I'm very talented at. And it's good. It sounds good. People like it when they hear it, but it's not something that I share with the world or been open to sharing with the world, because it's actually me really bearing my soul in an art form that is 100% me. It's not like acting where I'm collaborating with other people. It's coming just from the heart. And so I think in the past I was sensitive or nervous about it, and I got into places of becoming perfectionist and working on songs. Like, I've worked on certain songs for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years even. And sometimes I write songs in 5 minutes, but like, it's depending on like how important it is to me. Like, can it, and like, it's letting go of that, and it's accepting things for what they are, and going with it, right? Letting go, cutting ties. This is like a karmic ties with people, with mindsets, all of this stuff is letting that go. And just so you know, it doesn't mean forever. It's not necessarily forever. Some things may be forever. Some things may be for right now. Because in order to integrate the energies that need to be integrated into you, you cannot mesh and meld with those energies anymore. They don't resonate. You will be fractured. You will be at a cognitive dissonance with yourself and with others. So you gotta let shit go, right? All right. Namaste. We're gonna let that go. So that is something to remind yourself. Keep grounding yourself. Keep yourself balanced. See friends and family. See those that you love. Do the things that you love. Practice gratitude and appreciation. If you mess with the crystals, get you some crystals. Rock the crystals. If you don't mess with the crystals, you probably should. Start with a piece of clear quartz. That's what most people start with. If you're really about the shadow work, get you a dark stone. Be aware that while you are integrating these shadow energies, there will be addictive behaviors and lower vibration behaviors that were part of your past self that are going to come up, and you're going to be tested, and you have to make the decision as to whether or not you want to integrate that into who you are becoming. And that's for each and every person to decide for themselves as it comes up, as they experience it. I'm not one to say like, avoid this, avoid that. I'm not all about the light or all about the dark. Like, I'm a Libra, so I'm about balance. I mess around a little bit on weigh this, then I weigh it out. I go back and forth until I find exactly where I want to be, and then I'm good. And I'm a firm believer that from darkness comes light. I'm a knower that from darkness comes light. So you have to go through trauma to grow. You have to experience a hermetic sort of experience where you're alone in the wilderness, whether that's the wilderness of reality of the world around you, or if it's the wilderness of your mind, right? So it's important to do these things so you can come back stronger and more positive and beneficial for others. It's important to know this. I felt like I had one more thing to say. I feel like that's it. Oh wow, it's like a 50 plus minute video. I was going in, I guess. Like, I mean, even recording these videos is something that has been part of my shadow side, because I got the intuition and the messages several times in the beginning of the year to start recording videos talking about cosmic ascension, DNA activation, spiritual ascension, all this stuff. And I've been recording videos, believe it or not, but I'd never uploaded them. I uploaded one months ago, and like I've got dozens and dozens and dozens on my computer, but for whatever reason, like I think it had a lot to do with the energy of where I was at that time, because I was going through stuff and I was like, you know, I was learning a lot and experiencing a lot, but also still like being pulled back, and like I guess I didn't feel like the energy was always right. Like it wasn't what I wanted to put out there, and I may go back and see what works and what doesn't. Maybe I will just upload them as they are and just title them like these are old videos while I was going through what I'm going through, so you can see it, because I am about being authentic, and so I want that to come forth. I don't really want to edit these videos. I want them to be natural stream of consciousness, and but a part of, I think one of the things is that I know that like as a lot of the different information is coming to me, or I'm recalling it, I have a tendency to jump around in the way that I'm speaking, and I don't want it to be confusing for others, because I think it's important that these concepts and these topics are under, inner, and overstood, right? Definitely understood, and it's okay to understand something, but you're not necessarily gonna understand it, and that comes from experience. You know, knowledge is one thing that we can all attain, but wisdom is something that only one in their true self can know their own sense of wisdom, because it's based on their experience going through it. So I can talk about this all I want, unless you've experienced it or been experienced or start to experience these things, it's not going to happen. Interesting thing, which is like one of the like things that I really love that's I've experienced in my life recently, is that different people that I've talked to about this, when I start talking to them, then they start experiencing these aspects in their life. And part of what I was going through a year ago, months ago, was like being kind of ostracized by people that were close to me, that were kind of looking at me like I was crazy and treating me like I was crazy, talking about these things. And now it's starting to happen on a mass level, and it's I guess a little bit of vindication to it. And I don't like to think about things in that way, but you know, like it's important. That kind of sort of thing is important. So if you're experiencing things, you know, just like take it with a grain of salt. Allow the change to happen. Allow the flux to happen. Allow whatever death comes to happen, so that new life can grow afterwards. Allow. It may not be forever. It may just be for right now. Okay? And you may need to go through what you're going through now so that you can get where you want to go. Okay? Be willing to give up what you have to get what you want. All right? If it's not serving you, goodbye. Let it go. It doesn't have to be with anger or rage or anything crazy like that. Just let it be natural. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Go with the flow. Flow stays where you want to be. All right, I think that's enough for today, for this one. Getting a headache now, so I'm gonna drink some water. I'm gonna meditate, and then I'm about this. But before I go, hold on, stay right there. Before I go, I will be right back. 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 Just wanna hit y'all with some sage. Right? Good energy, good energy. Smudge it, all right? One last thing. A second for some grounding, and if you are open to it, if you can, if you allow, you will receive. Peace, love, and infinite light. Y'all have a good one.